Hey there, everybody, this is Magnum Pi. I'm here with Teku, Golgoth of the Holle, and Dark Templar, and we are Initiative 0, and we're going to continue with some more rifts. I hope you are enjoying things. If you really enjoy it, please hit the subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified of our next show. And yeah, always, we appreciate the comments down below, or join us on our Discord. We're happy to have you here. We're going to jump right back into things. Last time, I think there was some attempts at climbing boxes that didn't go so well.
We do not need to revisit that, please. Thank you.
Well, just for people that might not have listened, to the most recent episode prior to this one.
And long story short, I suck at climbing, apparently.
I think it's just rolling dice. I don't know. But
that too.
You guys landed rather spectacularly, however, making a juicer get twitchy, and a snide comment from another leyline walker, and a man sitting behind the desk, just kind of sitting there looking your way.
Oh yeah, crab face, yeah.
And yeah, there you are. Old Jack kind of looks over at you guys with a "what the hell are you doing" kind of look, and says, "Okaro, I just want to introduce some of my new associates here. They were equally as wronged. Apparently they have a gift for the theatrics, but Sir Luke, Senate, and Lex," and the man behind the makeshift desk just kind of folds his hands and nods. "You said there were 4.
He'll be here sooner or later.
I see.
I think. I'll kind of look around and I think.
All right. Well, he looks over at the juicer. "Why don't you put that down?" And the juicer just nods in a rather, military-esque fashion and quickly stows the rifle over his shoulder again, in a very rapid movement, and then kind of stands, not nearly as stoic as before. He's a little bit more twitchy now than he was. "Well, are we waiting for the other guy?" says the line walker.
And I'll say to old Jack,
we don't have
honestly, he'll get here when he gets here.
"I don't know, Jack," says Okaro. "I don't know, Jack. This seems awfully fishy. They can't just walk in like normal people?" "Apparently not." "Well, why don't we give him another minute or two? And Lex, you sense the use of some sort of supernatural ability, whether it's magic or psionics or something like that."
They be looking for you.
And I just shout out, like, "Portland, get over here."
And yeah, Okaro starts kind of glancing around, and then he looks over toward you, Portland. Says, "Oh, I'm glad you could join us."
Oh, is he already here? I was gonna telepathically reach out through the.
I'm gonna say been here the entire time.
"Well, it's kind of rude to lurk. Why don't you drop your spell and we can all have a conversation?"
Okay. Drop my spell.
Okay. You drop your spell, and and the line walker looks over at you, noting your fedora that you have that has the holes in it for your horns.
Thank you.
And he looks at you and says, "Have you no respect for tradition? You've put a fedora over top of your headdress." Anyway, the man behind the desk says, "All right, well, now that we're finally all here, what do you need, Jack?" And he says, "Well, it's kind of like I told you. we need passage. Myself, the two Psy Stalkers, these 4, and not many questions. He says, "Oh, I see. That's how it is. Well, that'll cost you." I figured it would. But we're planning on hitting something pretty big, so there'll be a decent amount in there for you. That coalition depot still operating? And the man at the table kind of smiles. Says, "Jack, I thought you got away from all this. It's nice to see you back in business." "Yeah, well, we had some run-ins with... We gotta settle the score." I can admire that. What about you 4? Same thing?
Near enough.
I don't know about settling scores, but it is important to be able to deal some justice.
Justice. Sir Luke. Cyberknight?
I'll just nod.
Jack, you're going straight. You've got law and order on your side here. How about you, dog boy? Out for a little revenge against the coalition?
You seem to know where I've come from.
Well, I don't know anybody else that makes mutant dogs.
That answers your question.
And the ley line walker.
These things that we're going to be hunting and taking down are a threat to all life. And if I want to see the rest of this world and enjoy it, well, they need to go.
A threat to all life. What
That's right.
attacked you?
We got attacked by
Something.
cyborgs, essentially. Robots. And
Disguised
the robots
as other things.
Yes,
Yeah.
they've gotten very clever. They decide themselves as animals, as people.
He looks over at old Jack. Something coalition? Is that why you're raiding the coalition? And he shakes his head. No, I don't know what they were, but they weren't coalition. Well,
And they're vicious.
vicious.
Worse.
Vicious. They actually had some sort of emotion?
Well,
It seemed from the rhino. Is it rhino buffalo?
Yeah.
The rhino buffalo that we had slain. That they almost took pleasure in what they were trying to accomplish, which is the destruction of us.
yeah, it took out an entire caravan, it looked like. And then, of course, the settlement.
Well, who else would have the technology other than the coalition to make such a thing?
Rifts, pre-rifts.
Pre-rifts. So something from before the rifts. Fascinating.
Isn't it?
Well, Jack. He looks back at old Jack and smiles. Looks like I've found my payment. I can get you over to the coalition depot, and I can get you there, well, under their radar. But I need some of that technology. I'll even tell you what I know about the depot. Probably will help you out. But my payment is some of that tech. A bot intact would be best, but anything that would give me some insight into just how they've managed to do this. What do you say?
And I telepathically communicate with old Jack
Sure, you can try.
and just ask, just quickly, is this deal worth the consequences of giving him that kind of technology?
All right. And
I don't think he can respond unless he's also a psychic.
he can't, yeah, unless he be a psychic. But you would have to, you would have to read his mind if you wanted to try to pick up a response. But
I don't know if I can do that as part of the same action.
No, it would be the next action, but I would just let you...
Well, no, I'll just gauge it by his reaction, to be honest.
Yeah, he just kind of... Again, he's only got one good eye, and it kind of looks over at you. He says, these robots, this technology, it's dangerous. If it gets into the wrong hands, it could spell the end of a lot of business. Well, who's to say my hands are the wrong hands, Jack? Business is business. If you want passage across the lake and to be moving relatively unseen, well, that's my price. I want some of that tech. And old Jack looks to the two Psy Stalkers and then looks to the four of you.
It's a rather steep price to get across a body of water.
Well, if you could do it yourselves, you wouldn't be talking to me. Besides, I've got information that you may want to have about the Coalition.
And honestly, that's the more important things, I think, even more than crossing.
Well, potential.
If they see you...
How good the info is.
If they see you coming, you won't even get within 10 kilometers of that depot. Rasputin looks to Jack. Jack, what does it matter? What does it matter if he gets some of the tech? Somebody's going to get it eventually. At least this way we can give it to somebody we know. Think of what they did.
I think that we should accept the deal. It doesn't really matter as long as we get rid of these things. That's the prime objective here. I don't care if him or his cronies here get any of this tech. As long as we take it down. That's what matters right now. I turn to the other three. Would you not agree?
I don't know. I know we have to do something about what happened to that village.
Right, and this is the way to do it. It's a lesser evil for a greater one.
Well, evil's evil, though.
I agree, but which one do you want to face first? If you want to come back here later on, I'll come with you. That's fine. But for the time being, this is the greater threat. Life comes with compromise.
So I'll just kind of look very uncomfortable.
What about you two?
And I'll say, well, Jack hasn't led us astray yet. If he's willing to vouch for this upstanding citizen, intrepid entrepreneur, you make a point.
I mean, you know how I feel about the coalition. That's why I left the coalition. If we're taking coalition tech and swapping it from, one dictatorship to, I don't know who we're swapping it to.
Well, I don't want the Coalition tech. I want whatever kind of tech is behind those robots.
Which may be worse.
Or better.
Which may be worse.
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, I will warn you, this stuff has a nasty habit of blowing up. So, just to be pragmatic, so you fully understand, should we decide to agree to these terms, we do so knowing that while we will make the attempt to get you the payment you're looking for, you may end up with a bit more of a disassembled sort of prize than you might otherwise be thinking. And that may be totally beyond our control.
Well, my payment is the terms of our agreement. So you better make sure it doesn't blow up. And Jack kind of rubs the stubble on his face there. Says, "Damn it, Okaro. I'll bring something back for you. I can't guarantee the condition, but I'll guarantee that it's something that you can use. That's all I ask, Jack." "All right, deal." And he steps forward and he puts out his hand. And Okaro stands up. He's shorter. He's probably about, I don't know, maybe 5'7". And he grabs Jack's hand, and they're both gripping pretty hard. With some, it's not like either of them is got a weaker grip here. Good. So, come closer, I'll explain a few things to you. What you have is you have a coalition outpost. 1 dog pack reconnaissance squad, 1 light mechanized reconnaissance squad, and a heavy mechanized reconnaissance squad. Luckily for you, no seek and destroy. Their goal was to set up a point of where they could basically return for resupply and continue to map out the area along the shore, the north shore, as well as toward the ruins of Ottawa, and mapping out toward the approach on the east side to Laszlo. Laszlo tends to be more defended upon the north and the west side. So, what you've got is you've got 7 dog boy troops, 1 Psy Stalker. You've got 8 SAMS power armor.
8.
2 Sky Cycles and 2 UAR-1 Enforcer robot vehicles. The depot is of a mega damage alloy. And it isn't on a dock or a pier. It's actually set back on the other side of town. They have no waterborne craft. They rely on their airborne craft in order to do the patrols. From what we can tell, the dog boy packs are set out on week-long missions, going further and further each time, mapping things out, whatever natural fauna tend to be in the area, and returning to resupply before heading out again. SAMS squads are out in groups of 2, flying out over the lake, and again, north and east and west of the town as well. UAR-1s just stay put. They don't go anywhere. From what we can tell, there's 2 other infantry, if not 4 other infantry, who are constantly at the depot. So this is what you've got. It's what you've got to contend with.
Do you have an idea as to where the dog boys are going to end up on their next patrol?
Not particularly, no. Although they've been patrolling the area most recently between Laszlo and Unity.
Interesting.
So, what we can do is we can get you in as basically crew on a supply vessel. We'll bring into the docks at Unity. You help unload, and, well, you just won't get back on the boat. Once the coast is clear, make your way wherever you need to. Whether it's down the beach, whether it's into town, whichever way you want to approach. I've got boats that run regular trade between Relic in Unity. They won't suspect anything as long as you don't look like you're meaning business.
If the dog boys are going far afield, and as I say this, I'm going to make it seem like I'm getting into an invisible chair, because again, telekinesis. Is it worth disassembling them while they're away from the fort, so to speak, and then coming back once we've got their kit? I mean, there's even an outside chance you might be able to impersonate one of them.
Well, I think I could do that. I don't think that would be, too far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm curious about though is you said that we can't go in there, can't go over there looking like we're ready for a fight. So what do we do with our rifles, our armor? Or are you just suggesting we pick up some stuff there?
Both.
Smuggle them in. Put them in part of the delivery.
That's where I thought we were going, but
Well, in part of our armor, I mean, we do have Portland who could help us with that as well.
I mean, I travel pretty light. Most of my kit isn't really horse-sized. But what are we doing with the ATV and the bikes?
And the horse.
we'll have to park it all here.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we discuss what we're going to do with our stuff once we've finished here with Mr. Okaro?
Mm-hmm.
What time does your ship leave? And he says, well, which shipment do you want to go out on? Do you want to arrive early morning? Do you want to arrive end of the day?
The end of the day would be best.
I think so.
We can cover a night.
Well, then you're looking at departing at about 3 o'clock. That'll get us to Unity just before the sun goes down. Time to unload. The boat will stay there overnight. The crew usually will spend the evening and then come back the next day after they load up with whatever is coming back from Unity. Should be simple enough.
Depending on what we get from Unity, do you think there might be space on a boat to come back?
Well, we could arrange a pickup. You better keep a very low profile. You raise any alarms, I'm not associating with you.
I suppose that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's to be expected.
Be impressive to see you pull this off. A few people will just go raid Coalition. But it sounds awfully exciting. And he gives a bit of a smile. 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. The boat will be at the end of this pier.
Okay, then.
All right. We've got work to do, gents, says old Jack. And he heads out through the other side, the path through the crates on the other side, the one that you guys didn't come in.
I'm not going to try climbing it this time. I'm just going to walk out that way.
All right.
And I'll nod a farewell and then not change my reclined orientation and kind of float away behind them.
All right.
I'm just going to turn and leave.
Yep. All right.
I'm glad you didn't jump in my lap like a hover cycle. I mean, that would have been kind of the ideal humorous departure, but I think this is silly.
The ideal exit.
Yeah.
All right. Portland, you're still there? Or?
I'm partying with everybody else.
Okay, sounds good. Cool. So, as you walk back into the... it's a bit of a walk back. Sly says, I could I could take the Samson there underwater.
That would be useful.
It's pressurized. They didn't break the seals.
Be helpful.
It'll take time, though.
So, Jack, what do we need to do before we do this?
Well, determine what you're taking. Get it packed so that it can be stowed in a crate. That's what I'd
Less
be
is
doing.
more, I think.
One thing's for sure, we're going to need our jammer. Sly's like, don't worry. We'll have that packed in there. We can't have them being able to signal out.
Well, if I get my armor there and my rifle, that should be enough.
Well, you'll want to have a sidearm. If you've got one. Close quarters.
I've got my sword. That should be enough.
He nods. Yeah, you'll definitely want to have the armor once we get out of view from the town. Something at range, something for up close. Not much more than that.
But if we can avoid making noise, that'd probably be better.
Of course.
It's always better.
Of course. So, we're going to have to see just how those dog boy patrols work. And observe about those SAMS power armor flybys. If the SAMS are flying out, all we've got to do is shut down communication at that bunker. They won't be able to come back. Well, they'll be able to come back, but they won't know anything's amiss. We also have to take out the communications from those UAR-1s, though. That could be problematic.
Can't jam that?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking more being seen by their optics, but radioing out, they can move. They're mobile, right? They can move pretty quick, too. So.
Well, if we're able to take out the dog boy patrol, use Lex to impersonate one of their missing dog boys, have him approach the outpost, raise the alarm. They'll probably scramble their fast movers in search of their missing patrol. That'll thin the ranks. With Lex in the installation and us sneaking somewhere nearby, with the jammer in place, if we can avoid their heavy hitters, it puts us in a much better position to get in and out.
Agreed. I just don't like putting them on alert.
Well, me either, but at the very least, it'll be in the direction of Laszlo, which can absolutely hold its own and gives us plausible deniability as far as them having a reasonable excuse for thinking what's happening is, of course, beyond us and not exactly dubious as to their own storerooms.
Well, it's a thought. Other ideas?
Well, whatever it has to be quick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't fully know all of your capabilities. And he looks over to Portland and Senate and Sir Luke. I know what a dog boy can do. But
I can be pretty stealthy and distractible.
Weren't we talking before about I'm gonna steal some armor, get a pseudo disguise here, maybe
Make a
see
diversion.
if I can make a diversion and see if I can, go with Sly or Rasputin and get behind their ranks and maybe open a door.
yeah, I'm just making sure we're still on that page with the additional information we got.
Yep.
That's all.
Oh, I don't know if there's a better way around it. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I don't have a good solution for the bots. At least not as far as my capacities.
Yeah, I mean, like fight, but I don't know if I could take on robots or armor alone.
All right. All right. Well, what's the extent of your abilities? What can you do?
Well, in my case, you remember the town?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the impressive sight of all the robots and snow globes?
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. If
Good.
it's organic, I can turn it off, slow it down.
If it's organic?
Yeah, can't do much with machines yet. But the organics inside of them, if I can reach them, I've got a skill set to deal with that to a point. They're expecting between 2 and 4 residual infantry guarding the specific installation.
That's what he said.
Those I think I could probably have a good hand in. The fast movers, again, under the right circumstances, I could do something with. Leyline Walker might be better suited for that. But the heavy armor, I don't see that going particularly well.
Mm-hmm. They seem to be the things to worry about. What about you, Line Walker? What do you got up your sleeve?
Pretty stealthy. I can go invisible, as you obviously know. I kind of make things move.
Can
I'm
you
ever
make
near a ley line. Sorry, go ahead.
Can you make anybody else invisible?
No, I unfortunately can't make anyone invisible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
no.
you know-
I can see invisible things as well. I can I can manipulate objects and throw objects around. Also, I can heal. It's a big deal.
No.
But if I'm ever near a ley line, I can. Probably the last thing that most people see.
Yeah, there's no ley lines near these towns.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I can change the battlefield. Like I can make things foggy, so that's hard to see. For example, I can enchant people. I can maybe convince people as well. Be fearful or be friendly. Things like that.
Well, that could give us an advantage. If we can obscure things, make it difficult for them to see us, make it difficult for them to detect us. I just worry about the optics on those UAR ones. But taking them out would obviously sound the alarm as well.
Invisibility doesn't help against infrared, I'm fairly sure.
Well, not that I know of. Or thermal imaging. Still give off heat. How about you, Cyberknight? Anything else up your sleeve?
Close combat. Again, I'm strong as an ox.
Yeah.
It's got a horse. Very high.
Rasputin speaks up and says, "Listen, if there's troops in the depot, just on duty doing inventory or whatever it is, figuring out what they're going to have to resupply, they're probably not going to be wearing their armor. Only the ones that are going to be on patrol or on guard are going to be armored. So if we can get in there, we can probably dispatch them pretty quickly. Particularly if you're Sir Luke."
Yeah.
The way I see it, it's all about taking out that dog boy recon patrol first. If we can do that without them signaling that there's trouble, that gives us a big advantage. We can't go toe-to-toe with those UAR ones. We got to get past them some other way. And Sly speaks up, and hopefully those Samus are all out on patrol as well.
Now, my question about the UAR ones. Other people might know this better than I. But you can't live in these things, which means there's going to come a point that they have a changing of the guard. That would be their point of vulnerability, I would think.
That's right. I'd imagine they'll do that when the Samus patrols are back.
taking on the machine is one thing, but taking on the man inside, that's something different.
Old Jack
I can
kind
do
of
that.
gets a twinkle in his eye. Oh, taking on the machine or taking the machine? I can pilot a robot.
That's why I like you, Jack. Because you can pilot a robot.
Mm-hmm. Get me into that thing, and, well, we can certainly take out that other UAR-1, but that's going to create a huge mess. Huge mess.
Oh, at that point, we're going loud. There's no two ways about it. But
Well,
that's a
we
good
can-
excuse.
If we're going loud like
great-
that,
That's a great excuse.
we got to make sure we take out communications in that depot so they can't radio for help.
Now, your jammer.
Oh, well, it might not be
How do
powerful
you-
enough for that. I mean, it's just
Okay.
Sly running interference on a portable field radio.
Well, that's why I ask.
Yeah.
Okay. So, dog boys, they can be dealt with on their own. I'm not mad at the idea of sending the fast movers, and if we time it so that we raise the alarm ahead of the changing of the UAR shifts, all of their power armor will be out and about. At which point, Jack and either myself, I don't know that Sir Luke would be the most believable, but
I stand out like a sore thumb.
maybe Jack and I can go assume the identities of the replacement shift, have Jack set up in one of those machines, and that leaves everyone else free to start working their way toward the facility, while of course Jack starts lighting up the other UAR.
Well, that's
Hopefully we're far and away prior to the return of the Samus. But one ideal circumstance at a time, I guess.
I think we're best off not raising that alarm, though.
Yeah. So, assuming the identity of the pilot's taking control of the machine.
Well, that would require us to get uniforms.
That's not impossible.
No, but it would require it. That means getting in first. So, first thing, dog boy patrol. I think we're agreed on that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll take them out, make sure their communications are jammed, so that there's no signal out. Once we've established that, then we'll move from there. First, before that, we got to get into Unity. Okaro will get us in. We just have to make sure that we're able to move about unnoticed with our materials. Armor, weapons. Sly, you're going to bring the Samson in. You're going to stay close to the close to the shore underwater. You understand? He nods. That oxygen supply doesn't last forever, though, boss. Well, hopefully it won't have to. But I trust that you can find some way of keeping yourself unnoticed. I'll do my best. All right. So then it's the 6 of us. We're going to leave the big boss and the speedsters and the horse with Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's a risk, but that's a risk we're going to have to take. We can't risk the Coalition or Okaro getting their eyes on him.
Well, that's my next question. What kind of a man is Okaro?
No? He's ruthless. He knows how to
What's
make
stop
money.
him? Well, that's my concern. What's to stop him dropping us off and then dropping a line to the Coalition to warn them ahead of time?
Oh,
Well,
See if they'll make it.
I think
See
what
if,
he wants is that technology. I think that's his motive.
unless he thinks it's a pie in the sky promise,
well,
pipe dream.
he's got no love for
And
the
he sees-
coalition, and they've been a pain in his ass ever since they set up shop there. It was easier for him to smuggle things into Unity before the coalition had their eyes on things. Coalition out of the picture will do wonders for
You
him.
don't think he'd? You don't think he'd sell us up the river?
No. Nah. We go way back. He doesn't work that way. Nobody would trust him if he did that.
Well, we'll trust you.
Well, we've got a common motive. All right. Get some sleep. We got a big day ahead of us.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should bring one of these crates if we're going to be smuggling in some equipment.
No,
I think that's going to be.
we bring our equipment, load them into a crate tomorrow.
I guess he would have crates.
Yeah, he'll have the crates.
Let's find a place to stay.
All right. So, you find a place to lodge. Anybody going back to the vehicles or anything like that to secure things?
Just to get
Okay.
anything that I might need.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
this
my
who's
Wilkes
gonna stay
Lane
in the vehicle?
All right. So, as you guys are busy kind of sifting through things, and Lex and Sir Luke and Portland, you guys kind of are talking about who can handle these things and the like. Senate James T, and I guess to Portland, who's kind of just sitting there watching the two talk about their grenade launchers. James T kind of walks over to you and says, "So, when are we going?"
We have a stopover to make, but we need you to keep an eye on the vehicles here. It's better you're not seen where we're heading.
But we need to get to the cave.
And we need to destroy the cave once we get there.
Just him. Just
Well, that's
destroy
easy.
him.
Well, that's easier to do if we have something to destroy him with, which is what we're going to get.
Just kind of leaving me here, huh? Like some sort of cargo?
Well, I have no love for the Coalition. They have no love for me. And I can only imagine what they'd want to do with you if they knew you existed.
Oh, yeah. Love me, they would. Love this. And he would waves his hand as he balances on another one.
So please don't take it personally, but I think it's in everyone's best interest if we don't put you on their radar.
Well, I guess I just stay in the vehicle, hunkered down, bored. For how long? Days? Weeks? Well,
No, it won't be that long.
you're off living off the fat. I can do stuff. I can
And I'll
get
look him
in.
dead in the eye and say, I've never doubted that. However, the Coalition being what it is and you being what you are, rather preclude you from involvement right now. You'll have your moment. I'm quite sure of it. And I'm more curious than most to see exactly what you'll do with that moment. But I think you'll agree, this is not your moment.
Not my moment, no. But you'll see. You'll see it. You
I'll
know.
be watching.
You
I'll
know.
be watching.
Yes. We'll take care of him. Where will I stay? In the vehicle? In the room? And he kind of points up toward the room that you guys have managed to rent.
And I'd say, honestly, I'd check with old Jack as to what he thinks is best.
Oh, all right.
I don't want to put you out, but this isn't going to be a day at the fair for us either. So it may be that you have to stay in the vehicle, just for everyone's collective safety.
Bit boring. And he kind of clatters off in the direction of old Jack.
I'll kind of watch him from a distance and I'll be suspicious, but
All right.
kind of shake my head.
All right. You and Lex lock and load, and you've got your stuff. You all get your armor packed. You have your grenades. You've got your rifles. You've got your armor. You've got your pistols. Everything ready to go.
Vibro sword.
Vibro sword. Yeah. Got your
I'll
claws,
leave the
Lex.
the SDC rifle here. I won't need that.
Well, the STC rifle can actually be useful, but it is a lot more to carry. So,
Well, that's just it.
yeah. All right, Lex, you're bringing your claws. Okay.
Yep.
During a lull, can I go over to Jack and just kind of get his attention?
Sure.
And I'll say quietly, it might be worth finding something to help keep Jamie occupied while he's here.
Yeah, we're gonna let him stay up in the apartment. Maybe you can watch some movies.
No, I mean, movies, books, something. Because he's got a point, asking someone to sit still while they're sitting out.
Yeah.
I'd rather we not have to experience the whole idle hands versus devil's plaything thought experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't want him getting out. O'Card's not the only one that would be interested in him here. All right.
To say nothing to the coalition.
Yeah, you can't come with us, that's for sure.
No.
All right. Well, get some shut-eye. Tomorrow we'll be on us soon enough.
And with that, I don't know, nod and walk away.
All right. And with that, we'll call it an end for this session. Thank you again for joining us. Again, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Let us know what you think. I'm Magnum Pi. I'm here with Teku.
Good night, folks. Sorry.
I'm Magnum Pi. I'm here with Teku, Golgotha, Vahilo, and Dark Templar.
Bye. We'll see you later.
Good night, everybody.
Have a wonderful time.
Say the line. I'm not done yet until you say the line.
And we are Initiative Zero.